Hello folks, Typhoon Carter here, and I bring to you Smogon Premier League 17. This is a Week 7 showdown between Skyrio of Team Raiders and Fakes of the Alpha Ruiners. So, Skyrio coming into this contest, I believe he is 4-2 or 5-1, something along those lines. I will check later. Whereas for Fakes, came off a solid day DPP win against SFG in his first DPP game of the season. Anyway, so interesting pairing as we have Skyrio, the 3K underdog who has surpassed expectations more or less, versus Fakes, who is probably a top 5 player unless you ask XVII. XVII will tell you he's a bum, but not the point. Oh, and he'll also tell you that Fakes is short, but not the point. Anyways, enough said though. Let's jump right into this. Jirachi leads, Swampert lead. Jirachi here does not really want to stick around to deal with Pert. Now, Pert as a lead has made a interesting time for it to come back as a lead, because I think one of the things that really stopped Pert from being seen more was something like Breloom just always being an instant threat, because Pert usually just invited Breloom in for free. For Fakes here, he can either, he can either EQ, Waterfall, if it's like a CB lead, and then for Jirachi could Toxic, could just U-turn. So there's a few ways this can play out. Toxic misses there, that's actually huge, and EQ's gonna do a significant amount, so now Skyrio can't stay in, and he missed out on his chance to pull off the lure, but EQ's going to whiff on the Laddie, as Laddie has got threatened to Draco. And Draco's going to do a lot to what looks to be a careful Metagross. Either that or it's a Scarf Laddie. Stealth Rocks into a Donphan. Donphan's most certainly going to spin. And go spin on the Pert, but Pert's going to threaten this. Laddie is going to come in, cover the water move here, but could have Ice Beam too as a mid-ground. And T-Tar's going to be invited in, and Laddie's going to trick. Tricks into a CB. Pursuit is very free here, so that Laddie is effectively out of commission. Fakes off to a strong start. Jirachi's going to come in. So Donphan, again, really becoming a staple, like a true OU staple, if it wasn't already in DPP, especially in a post-sleep ban era. As for Skyrio's last here, I mean, there's probably going to be a second steal, could be a Skarmory, could be, like a Bronzong. Meta is also possible too, but not as likely. Tran's another combo we could see a Ghost. So a few possibilities, but we can't tell for sure. Anyways, Meta's going to come in, going to Stealth Rocks up. Jirachi's probably got U-turn. Question is, how will you respond? Goes to the Donphan as the Metagross answer. Meta could boom on this Donphan, so have to keep that in mind. Donphan's going to rapid spin here, and Pert is probably just going to Surf. Yep, Surf's on the Jirachi, but gonna get the Toxic off to trade for the EQ. Fakes looks like he's more than happy to take that trade. The other thing to note here is that, Heatran's gonna come in, got threatened to Hinpart Grass. Gus sub up instead, so that actually synergizes really well with, what's his face? Toxic Jirachi. And Hinpar's here. And then something to note here is that if you see Pert, something like a Starmie is also plausible, because something that Swampert really hates is hazards. So me being able to spin that off would be huge. I mean, there could also be like a Gyarados in the back, like Pert plus Gyara, you see the vision, right? Okay, me is going to come in, straight into Gyarados, likely to be Def Me, but could also just be a bulky me with T-Bolt. And got a Trick here. Tricks the Choice Specs into a Choice Band, so we see both Tyranitars exchanging pursuits, getting a pursuit KO, and Metagross is going to come in. If Game Freak was not a coward, they would implement Acid Rain, just saying, but not the point. Anyways, Meta finally explodes here. Skyrio doesn't have a great sacrifice piece to take, so this makes sense. A Tar speed tie. Looks like Fakes' Tar is faster, and it's going to get the superpower off. and Gyarados gonna come in. Oh wait, no, he's not a speed type because Skyrio's his T-Tar got the Scarf. Anyways, Fake's showing his own Scarf Laddie, so holding off on that unless he absolutely had to show it. So fantastic discipline there. And Gyarados gonna come in on this Heatran. Heatran's going to sub up. This is likely max speed. Oh wait, no, the Gyarados is faster. It's lefty's Gyara. And Fire Blast is here. This game should be over. So no burn, and Fakes is going to take this. And he is going to go 2-0 in DPP for a season. Skyrio's now eating, I believe, his second loss of the season. Very dominant showing from Fakes. The big thing here, a couple big takeaways was that Skyrio was forced to, or I don't know if force is the right word, but had to bring out his Latias early just to avoid getting EQ'd. So because of this meant that Fakes could come in, get an early seek out an opportunity to get early Pursuit Trap KO. Got that, and then for Skyrio, I mean, Fakes' team didn't really, it had a Starmie, it had a Latias, but I think really this was a difference in how both players chose to show their Pursuit weak threats. Because in Fakes' case, this was a textbook example of how you can leverage, how you can kind of keep your advantage by saving your Starmie, saving your Latias in the back so that Skyrio can't use his Pursuit or draw them out. But something that Skyrio, for example, could have done instead of tricking straight into a T-Tar, for example, Skyrio could have tried to pounce on the Tyranitar entry by doubling back into Donphan. So that was like something that he could have potentially done to kind of, you know, keep the exchange interesting. Because again, he did get rocks up very early, so that's something that Skyrio could have done, was like use the hazards to wear Tyranitar down. Force the Starmie to come in earlier to draw out your own T-Tar so that, you know, you can come in, get that, nab that KO, things like that. And then anyways, so that's kind of like some of the main takeaways here, and you really see how something like Sub Heatran really sometimes is in a weird place where it wants the extra power, but it sometimes also wants the extra speed. And you can see how we saw this with the Gyarados that is likely adamant, was able to outspeed the Heatran behind a sub. So like, for example, if Skyrio was like faster and had, say, Lava Plume, then you know, could have cheesed his way to a win. That's just like something to keep in mind. Anyways, that being said though, if you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.